So, a few days ago, we got some sad news. Mercury Steam, the Madrid-based studio behind Metroid Dread and Metroid Samus Returns, has announced layoffs. The news broke earlier this week via a post on the studio's LinkedIn page, and for anyone who cares about the future of the Metroid franchise, it's worth taking a close look at what happened and what it might mean going forward. In their statement, Mercury Steam described the situation as a, quote, workforce adjustment process, framing it as something common between production cycles in the games industry. The studio expressed respect and gratitude for the people affected and shared an email address for other studios looking to hire. They did not disclose, however, how many employees were let go. That lack of specificity makes it difficult to gauge the full scope of the situation, but the announcement itself is significant regardless of the numbers. To understand the context, you have to look at what came before this. After Metroid Dread shipped in 2021 to critical acclaim and strong sales, Mercury Steam spent the following years developing an original IP called Blades of Fire, an action game published by 505 Games. It launched on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC in 2025, bypassing Nintendo platforms entirely. The game reviewed reasonably well, but it struggled commercially. Digital Bros, the parent company of 505 Games, acknowledged in a financial report that Blades of Fire's underperformance led to higher than expected write-offs. That's a pretty significant admission, and it almost certainly connects to what we're seeing now. Studios tend to scale down after a project wraps, and scaling down is harder when that project didn't perform the way everybody had hoped. There's also a broader layer of context here. The games industry has been contracting for several years now. Studios large and small have gone through rounds of layoffs, and Mercury Steam, while independent, isn't immune to that pressure. It's a difficult moment for developers across the board, and the people affected by this deserve recognition for the work they contributed to a studio with a meaningful legacy. So, where does this leave Metroid? Mercury Steam has been the steward of the 2D Metroid series in the modern era. They delivered 2 critically praised entries, and their collaboration with Nintendo on Dread in particular is widely considered one of the best games in the franchise's history, and my personal favorite 2D Metroid game. The relationship between this studio and Nintendo is a genuine asset for both parties. What this could mean for any future Metroid project is uncertain, but there are a few things worth considering. First, layoffs between projects don't necessarily signal the end of a studio's output. Many developers restructure after shipping a game and then rebuild around a new one. If Mercury Steam is in the process of ramping up a new Nintendo collaboration, the timing of a workforce reduction after an independent project concludes is not entirely surprising. However, there is an ongoing and unconfirmed rumor that Mercury Steam has already been heavily involved in a remake of Super Metroid, and even in a creation of Metroid 6. Neither Nintendo nor the studio has said anything official about this, so it remains speculation. But if either of those projects is real and in development, it would suggest that the studio has enough going on to maintain its core team through whatever restructuring is happening now. Whether that's what's happening, we genuinely don't know. The main point I want to make is that if a Super Metroid Remake or Metroid 6 is in late development by Mercury Steam right now, this news does not mean that either of those projects would get shut down all of a sudden. What we do know is that Metroid's recent 2D revival exists because of Mercury Steam's specific creative voice, and the continuity of that voice matters to the quality of what comes next. Talented developers who leave a studio take institutional knowledge with them. That's true everywhere in this industry, and it's worth acknowledging here. For now, we watch. The studio isn't gone, and if their Nintendo partnership continues, the franchise has a foundation to build on. But the people who lost their jobs this week are the real story, and they deserve to land somewhere that recognizes what they built, and I wish them the best. Thanks for watching the video, you guys. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe for more Metroid content, and as always, have an amazing rest of your day.